Captain Llewellyn. Come you from the bridge?
I assure you there is very excellent services committed at the bridge.
Is the Duke of Exeter safe?
The Duke of Exeter is as magnanimous as Agamemnon, and a man that I love and honour with my soul and my heart and my duty and my life and my living and my uttermost power. He is not, God be praised and blessed, any hurt in the world, but keeps the bridge most valiantly with excellent discipline. There is an ancient lieutenant there at the bridge. In my very conscience, I think he is as valiant a man as Mark Antony, and he is a man of no estimation in the world. But I did see him do as a gallant service.
What do you call him?
He is called Ancient Pistol.
I know him not.
Captain!
Here is the man.
Captain, I thee beseech to do me favours. The Duke of Exeter doth love thee well.
And I thank God, and I have earned some love at his hands.
Bardolph, a soldier firm and sound of heart, of buxom valour, hath by cruel fate and giddy fortune's furious fickle wheel, that God is blind that stands alone upon the rolling river.
By your patience, Ancient Pistol! Fortune is painted blind with a muffler afore her eyes to signify to you that Fortune is blind. And she is painted also with a wheel to signify to you that she is turning and variation and mutability. And her foot, look you, is fixed upon a spherical stone which rolls and rolls and rolls. In good truth, the poet makes a most excellent description of it. Fortune is an excellent moral.
Fortune is Bardolph's foe and frowns on him, for he has stolen a pax, and hanged must he be. A damned death! Let gallows scape for dog, let man go free, and let not hemp his windpipe suffocate. But Exeter hath given the doom of death for pax of little price. Therefore speak, Captain, and the Duke will hear thy voice, and let not Bardolph's vital thread be cut with edge of penny cord and vile reproach. Speak, Captain, for his life, and I will be requited.
Ancient Pistol, I do partly understand your meaning.
Oh, I then rejoice, therefore.
Certainly, Ancient, it is not a thing to rejoice at. For if, look you, he were my brother, I would desire the Duke to use his good pleasure and put him to execution, for discipline ought to be used.
Die and be damned, and fico for thy friendship.
Well, this is an errant counterfeit rascal. Oh, I remember him now. Boy, a cutpurse.
I assure you, he uttered as brave words at the bridge as you shall see in a summer's day. But that is very well what he has spoke to me. That is well when time is served.
Why, 'tis a gull, a fool, a rogue, that now and then goes to the wars to grace himself at his return into London under the form of a soldier. And such fellows are perfect in the great commander's names, and they will learn you by rote where services were done at such and such a sconce, at such a breach, at such a convoy, who came off bravely, who was shot, who disgraced, what terms the enemy stood on, and this they con perfectly in the phrase of war, which they trick up with new-tuned oaths. And what a beard of the general's cut, and a horrid suit the camp will do among the foaming bottles and ale-washed wits is wonderful to be thought on. But you must learn to know such slanders of the age, or you may be marvelously mistook.
I'll tell you what, Captain Gower, I do perceive he is not the man that he would gladly make show to the world he is. If I find a hole in his coat, I will tell him my mind. Hark you, the king is coming, and I must speak to him from the bridge. God bless your majesty.
How now, Llewellyn? Camest thou from the bridge?
Die and please your majesty. The Duke of Exeter very gallantly maintains the bridge. The French, look you, is gone off, and there is gallant and most brave passages. Mary, the adversary, was have possession of the bridge, but he is enforced to retire, and the Duke of Exeter is master of the bridge.
men have you lost, Llewellyn?
The petition of the adversary hath been very great, reasonable great. Mary, for my part, I think the Duke have lost never a man, save one that is like to be executed for robbing a church. One Pertolf, if your majesty know the man. His face is all bubicles and whelks and knobs and flames of fire, and his lips close at his nose, and it is like a coal of fire, sometimes blue and sometimes red, but his nose is executed, and his fire's out.
We would have all such offenders so cut off. And we give express charge that in our marches through the country, there be nothing compelled from the villages, nothing taken but paid for, none of the French upbraided or abused in disdainful language. For when lenity and cruelty play for a kingdom, the gentlest gamester is the soonest winner.
You know me by my habit.
Well, then I know thee. What shall I know of thee?
My master's mind.
Unfold it.
Thus says my king. Say thou to Harry of England, though we seem dead, we did but sleep. And now we speak upon our cue, our voice is imperial. England must repent his folly, see his weakness, and admire our sufferance. Bid him therefore consider of his ransom, which must proportion the losses we have borne, the subjects we have lost, and the disgrace we have digested. For our losses, his exchequer is too poor. For the effusion of our blood, the muster of his kingdom too faint a number. And for our disgrace, his own person, kneeling at our feet, but a weak and worthless satisfaction. Add to this defiance, and tell him in conclusion he hath betrayed his followers, whose condemnation is pronounced. Thus, my king and master, so much my office.
What is thy name? I know thy quality.
Montjoy.
Turn thee back, and tell thy king I do not seek him now, but could be willing to march on to Calais without impeachment, for to say the sooth, though 'tis no wisdom to confess so much to an enemy of craft and vantage, my people are with sickness much enfeebled, my numbers lessened, and those few I have almost no better than so many French, who when they were in health, I tell thee, Harold, I thought upon one pair of English legs did march 3 Frenchmen. Yet forgive me, God, that I do brag thus. This, your heir of France, hath blown that vice in me. I must repent. Go, therefore, tell thy master, here I am, my ransom, but this frail and worthless chunk, my army, but a weak and sickly guard, yet God before, tell him we will come on, though France himself and such another neighbor stand in our way. There's for thy labor, Montjoy. Go and bid thy master well advise himself. If we may pass, we will. If we be hindered, we will your tawny ground with your red blood discolor. And so, Montjoy, fare you well. The sum of all our answer is but this. We would not seek a battle as we are, nor as we are, we say we will not shun it.
I shall tell him, and thanks to your highness.
I hope they will not come upon us now.
We are in God's hand, brother, not in theirs. March to the bridge. Now draws toward night. Beyond the river we'll encamp ourselves, and on tomorrow bid them march away!